Today we put the 4145 to the test. Let's see how it holds up to the 7. Stick around. There's an endless debate in the craps community. Can dice setting actually create a player advantage? Between the grip, the load, the launch, and the landing, the sources of variation seem endless. But if we can minimize those variables with consistent technique, can we actually find an edge? How many rolls can a specific set survive before the dreaded 7 ends the run? We're putting the physics to the test and collecting the raw data. Is it skill or just plain luck? Let's find out on this episode of What Are the Odds? Good day to you, and I hope you're doing fantastic as always. If you're new here, we're going to try to repeatedly throw the 4145 dice set, today's example, continuously until we produce a 7 10 times. Theoretically, we should hit at least 60 rolls, and we'll try to keep our grip, load, launch, and landings consistent. Our first roll here will produce a 4. We're going to log that into our table, and we'll do this for every roll until we 7 out 10 times. And in the interest of time, we'll speed things up, and we'll do a deep dive of the data on the back end. See you over there. That was an incredibly abysmal rollout. Up until this point in the channel so far, this is the absolute worst rollout we have had. 32 rolls. Seriously, our longest streak was 7. The 7 is supposed to come once every 6 rolls, and we usually get well beyond 7 continuous rolls before the 7 shows up. I believe we ended that run with 4 consecutive 7s. I mean, look at the standard here. The 7 is only supposed to roll 16.7% of the time. It rolled over 30% of the time. Insane. Let's look at the numbers individually by roll count. So the water line was very high, so high that it drowned all of our other numbers. We didn't have a single number here that exceeded the 7, and we only had 2 numbers that exceeded the standard, those being the 4 and the 10. I'm actually appalled by this data. I mean, if we want to talk about the worst of the worst, those would be the 9, 5, and 8. very disappointing results for this dice set in today's sample collection. I am well aware that we're looking at a snapshot sliver of data in an infinite number of rolls, but this is on a level that we have not yet seen up until today. In this series, that is. I can go to a casino and 7 out pretty quickly. Let's go look at the sisters. And this is a formality view, as we already addressed. The 4 and the 10 were the only two numbers to beat the standard, and of course those are the sister pair that exceeds the standard here. Everything else falling extremely way short. And the 7 again was just completely off the charts. It only should have came out 5.3 times before coming out 10 times, given that we only had 32 rolls. But our hard ways, those actually exceeded expectations just barely. Again, the 4 and the 10 are the reason why. The 6 and the 8 rolled a total of 7 times, but hard way wise, 0 times. And while our horns are showing a miss of 1.3 rolls to the standard, the 12 did exceed standard barely. But the 2, 3, and 11 each only missed by a roll. And again, we only had 32 rolls, so the bar was very low for them on a roll count basis. So in summary, the 4-1-4-5 lends itself strongly to a dark side strategy. It took us only 32 rolls to produce 10 sevens versus the expected 60 dictated by the standard. By the numbers was a joke. I mean, the 4 and the 10 were the only ones to exceed the standard, and combined, those only rolled 9 times, one less than the 10 sevens. And we had 8 remaining numbers that were just abysmal, the 9, 5, and 8 being the worst of the worst. Hardways barely exceeded the standard only because of the 4 and the 10 outperforming the standard, giving us more opportunities. And the 6 and the 8 produced 0 hardways in a combined 7 appearances by the easy 6 and 8. And horns were nothing to write home about. Again, they weren't abysmal, but we just didn't have enough rolls in our data set here to even give them a chance to start hitting. Of the 3 horns that we did hit, we did not have any consecutive hits or see a horn. Better horn opportunities were a bust. I'm not sure why I feel disappointed here, because from a data set like this, you could actually win some really good money in a dark side strategy. And I might actually roll this out when we do the live roll on the 4-1-4X strategy. I'm not sure yet. If you can reliably 7 out and avoid specific numbers, there's money to be had there. Nonetheless, thanks for joining me on this episode of the 4-1-4-5 rollout. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be with me today. Enjoy the remaining part of your day, and I hope to see you on the next episode of What Are the Odds?